Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Daniel, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit about gear, mostly about amps. So first off, I'm not like a professional. I've never taken lessons or any of that stuff. I just like to play guitar and kind of like learning by ear or whatever. But I want to talk about a specific kind of amp. You might have heard of them. They've been like heavily memed. They're like basically like the one app that gets shit on the most out of like anything I've ever seen or heard from. But you know what I'm talking about? It's the Line Six. Those have gotten like a bad rap, and I think it's because it's been like heavily memed and stuff. But I think it's because it's a lot of people's first amps, and you know, shortly after people move on and get something bigger, better, higher, watt amp or whatever. But do not let people discourage you from being proud of playing through that amp and just getting the most you can out of it. Because I think that people made fun of it because people there's a setting on it called insane, which basically you have a clean, crunch, metal, and insane. So when you put it on insane, it just sounds like super distorted, very honestly, like I don't think it sounds bad at all. It's very good for like just kind of like practicing, I would say. But you can get some pretty decent tones, or like that old school death metal, like Cannibal Corpse type, pretty thrashy stuff or whatever. But there's nothing wrong with using those kind of amps, especially in the beginning. It's my first amp that I ever bought. It was a Line Six Spider Four, and it was great. It has a built-in tuner, few effects actually, like some reverb, some delay, like stuff like that, some filtery stuff. Um, and I've never had a problem with it. I think that people are just kind of there's like a stigma behind it. So when they see Line Six, they're like, oh fuck that, like I'm gonna stay away from that. Um, I didn't even know about that until after I bought the amp, and I would be on like social media and I would like see all these memes and shit, which they're funny. I get what they're coming from, but they're not. It's not a bad amp, basically. So I got that. I got my first one for $100, and I still have it to this day. And it's I never had any problems with it or anything. It lasts. So I'm just basically here to say that it's okay if you use that. Don't be ashamed, because the truth is, like, let's say an established guitar player, someone like John Mayer. Let's say he posts a video of himself, kind of like this, like just playing and not showing any effects or gear or whatever he's using. And I swear, if he used an Amazon Basics overdrive, like powered by like a Donner power supply, and he was going from that and using like a guitar like this that costs less than $200. I don't even what brand is that? Like, still plays great. But yeah, if he was playing through all that through a Line Six and he was like hiding it away, and he just started playing, like I promise you, nobody'd be like, oh, what gear is he using? Oh, that sounds shitty. They would just be like, oh, great song. What song is that? What was he playing? Because deep down, I feel like in people's hearts, like they know that if it sounds good, like just listening and not even looking, then it just sounds good. Like there's no reason to pick apart. Oh, my shit's more expensive, or I can buy 10 of those. Like that doesn't mean shit. So yeah, I just wanted to say that because there's a lot of good Line Six products out there, and especially nowadays, like through everything, like everything's like advancing, like gear's getting way more affordable. Um, if you go on Amazon and you see like the cheaper pedals, like the Amazon Basics or the Donners or the Flammas, or you know what I'm talking about, you'll see that so many people have been buying them, like even the last past couple months and shit. Like, and no one's gonna tell you. They're not gonna be like, oh, dude, I just, you know, New Gear Day, I got this fucking, whatever. $20 compressor from Amazon. Like no one's gonna tell you that. So just keep researching and buying whatever gear that you like, whether it's used, you trade it, or something really boutique. Like it doesn't matter. It's all hype, and I get it because like uh, even for me, honestly, like looks do matter. So like with pedals, I do judge it on its looks, but I also do my homework, and I'll watch like every single fucking YouTube video on whatever pedal I'm interested in, and that way I know which if it's actually worth it or not. But so I get that aspect, but whatever you play, man, like if you play like, I know it sounds cheesy, but like play with your heart, and you know you actually use your like the dynamics in your picking and your you know everything. There's so many different components than just the amp. Like you know you got the pickups, the strings, the way you hold a pick, the fact that if you use a pick at all, um, and you know all that comes into play. And I'm speaking from experience. Like I am I am not a professional, dude. I've never played a live show. I've only jammed with a few people here and there. Everything I know is pretty much self-taught. So I'm just a fucking dude telling you what like how I feel about it. And yeah, like I would like to know what kind of gear you guys use. I'll do probably end up doing a video about like my pedal board and stuff. Actually, it's right here, but that's another time. So yeah, I'm curious. Like, what cheap gear have you used that you've been actually surprised? Actually, so I got there's this pedal that I've been wanting for a long time from Earthquaker Devices, which is like my favorite pedal company, and there's this compressor called the Warden, and I wanted it ever since because there's this band. It was pretty much my favorite band, and they were called Chon. You know, rest in peace. You know, I don't know if they're ever gonna come back, which sucks because it's like for a long time I've been thinking like, what's my favorite band? And I have a lot, but like, what's like my soul band? You know what I mean? Because like everyone likes Metallica and you know like those core fundamental bands, but for me, Chon like really stood out, and their music is just like timeless and takes me back and all this shit. Uh, so and that's when I found out about compression, and so they use this compressor pedal called the Warden, which is great. I use it all the time. But what's crazy is that like my brother, he got uh, what's it called? I think it's called a Behringer, like one of those. It almost looks like a Boss pedal in a way. I'll have to show it, but he got one of those used compressors for like less than $30, and it sounds just as good, if not better than the fucking Warden. I will admit that. Like, I love it. The Warden's great, but like something about that pedal is it just snapped. Like that tone just brought everything to life. So I was like super impressed. Like holy shit! Like this little pedal can do all that, and it's a fucking fraction of what the Warden costs. Um, so I would just say keep an open mind in gear. There's been some pedals that like I don't necessarily like the way they look, or maybe don't really necessarily like the company, um, but they have a few standouts. You know what I mean? So it's always good to just keep looking, keep researching, because like I don't know about you, but like I will always be into like new stomp boxes and new releases and stuff like that. I'm never like satisfied like with my board, even though I am right now. I'm always going to be looking and searching, so that's part of the fun for me. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Is that like if it sounds good, it sounds good. You know what I mean? Like um, so it's like because I would post like videos and stuff like on my Instagram or whatever, and like honestly, there wasn't anyone where it's like, oh, you know, like why does your amp sound like that or this or that or whatever? Because it's really not that like complex. Like people, um, they kind of like try to complicate it. Like, oh, it has this and that, or like I don't honestly I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like I can't talk to you about like watts and this has the tube amp and I don't fucking I don't know that shit, dude. I just know what I know and I play what I play. But yeah, dude, it's all about your personal preference. Even with like the way you put um, the way you arrange your pedals, like that's a part of you, like the way you see it. And I understand that there is like a certain way for the most part for your pedals to go in order because like I've put like I have like an octave pedal and I put like an overdrive after it and it sounds like shit. Like it's pretty much like you can't argue it. Like it um I don't know the way it like. Or sorry, I put the distortion or overdrive before the octave, and that's what made it sound like shit. But if you put it afterwards, it makes sense because you're distorting like the octave sound, if that makes sense. So it's like down tuning, or so that sounds a lot better. But certain things like that, it kind of does matter the way you put it. But for the most part, it's all it's free real estate. So it's like it's there's it's the way I see it is like it's like a reflection of your soul. Like if you really play and stuff. Like for me, um, it's just I handpick everything, and that's the way you should see it. Like don't you know I look at people's boards too, of course. Like I'm like impressed or like oh shit, like that's a good idea. So that's good, but like just make sure whatever gear you buy, you want that shit. Like you do your research, watch YouTube videos, um, like every video. Don't skip one. Like seriously, because it's gonna have like a domino effect where you learn certain like tips and tricks and maneuvers and what to pair it with, what cables, or whatever the fuck. So I know this video is like all over the place, but like my main point is just like be confident in the gear that you buy. Whether it's a new pedal, um, a new guitar, amp, like if you know it sounds good, it sounds good. Like this guitar, I don't even know what brand it is. It was from Amazon, less than $200. You know, plays great. It plays better than this Jackson I had, and because I've been playing that like pretty much for years, only Jackson, and now that I play this shit, I'm like, what the fuck, like, where's this been? So always just like keep an open mind and focus on the gear that you want, whether it's like a pedal, like a I don't know, a certain type, like saying you're looking for a looper pedal, like compare all the options, Boss, you know, MXR, Electro Harmonics, whatever. Just like be obsessed with that shit because eventually you're gonna like weigh out all your options and you can be like, okay, this is the one I know for sure. And that so by the time that you get it, like you already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna know your way around it, where to put it, and just because you don't have the gear at the moment doesn't mean you're not gonna get it eventually one day. So um, just keep educating yourself on that stuff. So yeah, it was just something I wanted to talk about. No script or whatever. Something that's been on my mind. Let me know what you guys think because this is something I really feel like passionate about. So, all right, you guys have a good day.